Not into long podcasts. Don't worry. We've got bite sized clips just for you. This is CWN Clips. Please don't forget to subscribe.
I will start with leadership. So the reason I started that point is also about I've seen you lead teams and programs, and you've been very active on the social platform as well. Commenting about sharing a lot of information. So leadership journey or the mindset is something which has evolved as you see from the time 2 or 3 decades earlier how people were and how the teams the thought process in which the team comes is different than today's generation. So you have seen a different generations over the years. So I wanted to get your perspective on the people management role. So what is important and what has helped you, right? So people management or probably people focused culture is while AI in the world of AI, how do you see that? So do you think we still have the people first approach is important in the world of AI where there is a lot of chaos around replacement of jobs and job cuts and probably replacing people with AI and all that, right? So the human first approach. So I mean, I wanted your perspective.
Yeah. So definitely, see, it is always a human first approach, right? Even if you take any AI technology, that is right. So the human in the loop is very important. And from your question about connecting more towards leadership, right? So one thing that I've learned over a period of time is in leadership is that is less about having answers for all the questions. It's more about creating an environment where people feel safe to
Right.
bring their best values to the table, right? And across over different generation, right? Each generation brings different perspectives and expectations, right? Whether it was in our early teams where 20 years ago the value was more towards stability and structure, right? Compared to what we do today, the workforce that I expect today is about what's the purpose and what's the autonomy and is there flexibility, right? Well, all of there are things that have changed over a period of time, but one thing that have always remained constant is the trust. Main thing is that we need to build that trust throughout day in day out with consistency and empathy and providing transparency in everything that we do, right? That's my biggest learning, where good leaders should be listening deeply and then adapt constantly, and then doing that and being humble to learn from each other, from their teams, no matter what their title is, right? So that's
True.
what has always helped me, and that's what I feel will help.
Everyone, yes. I think you talked about even today's world, empathy and having a safe environment, and not about the designation and title, but it's about how you build a relationship and provide a trust. So that's fundamental for a leader to be successful, right? So
Yeah.
so from your experience of leading different teams, be it in consulting and even today when you're doing it in the captive based environment, right? So how you've adopted your leadership styles, because it may not be the same. So we cannot have the same style how we approached the team 10 year or 15, 20 years back to now. So now as you said, the expectation is more the team is very knowledgeable today. The kids are like very smart and they come prepared, and as you said, they are the purpose driven, and they. So how you have adapted your style over the years, and any takeaways for the current generation, right? Let's say if I mean today Gen Z or the generations who's upcoming, right? They are I would say getting into more of a leadership role sooner. So what is your um, uh, ex- I mean probably I would say top three qualities which you want to have them to adapt or probably learn, and how you have adapted to the situation. I mean to the style of leadership across the years.
Yeah, sure. No, great question. Maybe I might have covered a little bit of this during my introduction or somewhere there. So, see, in my journey, right, each industry taught me something different, and then I was also my style of leadership and my maturity also was growing as we learn. So there are places where you also learn from mistakes, and then the
Correct.
first step for solving something is to first accept that there's a problem, right? Acceptance was main thing, where whenever I make mistakes, I take a step back and then first accept there was a problem and then work towards solution, right? From as I said, from consulting days, it was more about, yeah, putting the customer in the center, right? It's always working with client empathy, and then it's really doing things in a rapid fashion, always focusing towards we have to solve this problem, right? So where our objective is to say that, hey, let's do some synthesis, and then let's deliver value faster. It's always fast and running that marathon and running a fast race. And then eventually certain places like insurance taught me more about saying that, hey, it's not about always doing something fast. You have to make sure that, are we compliant, right? Will this really be good from a long run standpoint? How is the operational stability of things? So things like that helped me learn over a period of time. And then like I said, in healthcare, it is more about the purpose. As part of that, we look at, even when there's a problem, I think we'll be looking at saying that, okay, take a step back. If you want to solve a problem, is this going to impact lives, right? Are these decisions going to be really carrying some real consequences, right? Those are the things that will really make you uh, take this approach much more differently and much more focused. Those are different things that you learn. It's just not just a learning for a leader, and it's a learning for everyone in the team. So that's a place where I'll say that it is different across each of these industry domains. But primarily, as I said, right, from over a period of time, it's just not being a problem solver. We have to become more an orchestrator and facilitator, and also looking at how you can coach and empower teams, so that way teams will be able to tackle ambiguity, and then will be able to go and ask better questions, asking the why, and then always tying their work back to saying that, hey, this is the purpose for which we have been doing. So it'll become more purpose driven rather than just being an order taking, or saying that, oh, someone asked me to do and I got to do this. So that's the way I've seen evolving over a period of time.
But that's also more of a mindset. But in general, it also brings the cultural background and how one is brought up, and the kind of mindset they bring to the team. And again, with this generation being more faster, and probably they're more impatient. So how do you think you are able to handle the while it's more agile, and probably they wanted to do things quicker and faster, but the kind of patience probably we had to actually wait and see, it's not there. So how do you see that change, right? So how as a leader, you're able to handle that within the team, because where there is a mixed set of people, and today's generation is even more impatient, to see the outcome. They want the outcome sooner. So there is this phase of anxiety, and so I mean, I see that more often. So how do you think you see collectively you're able to drive them to a common outcome?
Yeah. So I think, see, the main thing is, right, it is definitely moving from command and control to connecting and catalyzing, right? This generation is incredibly resourceful, right?
Yes.
And what they expect is the context, not just saying that instruction, saying that let's go, say in a data world, right? It's not about saying, oh, let's get this data ingested, right? Oh, let's go get these 50 tables ingested over here. So that's not the thing. They expect more context, right? What as leaders we have to do is need to give them the why, right? So then we have to trust them with the how. So it's not about that the way data was ingested even a few years ago versus how it is ingested now are completely different. So there are a lot of different ways, right? And more important step is also to create a space for reverse mentoring. There are a lot of things that we can learn from our team members. Give that perspective, saying that I'm also here learning along with you on a few things. A lot of emerging techs, right? It's not about that we know everything, right? There are things that our teams will know, new ways of collaboration, and then different tools that can bring different ways, different approaches to bring work-life balance. Right? All of these are the ones that we can definitely give that open space to say that, hey, we want to learn from you, and then make this a collective workspace. I think that's what is more important. So we're able to do that, and then if we create a culture of mutual respect, and then an opportunity for continuous learning, and then psychological safety. So I think that's what I've seen difference compared to what it was a few generations ago to now. And that's kind of approaches that I follow for bringing that cohesiveness within our teams.
Very true. I think it's a remarkable point you mentioned about reverse mentoring. I think not many are really open, right? I think that's one. Probably I want to pick your mind on this, right? So there's always, so it is very easy said than done, right? When it comes to the real corporate setup, so it's always that. How many are really open to do that reverse mentoring and be honest to actually take that feedback, even if you're done something wrong, to accept it at that level and then try to continuously correct and do that. So I don't, so how, what is your opinion on it, right? So, I mean, do you think there is also that kind of coaching and mentoring required at the constant mentoring at the leadership level? Because that's one area where I think not many, because always the mentoring and coaching and probably the continuous learning comes on the, it's more of a top down, and probably it's more focused on the middle management and also the developer community, but not on the top. But many companies are doing it, but it's the effectiveness of that. So how do you see that?
No, it's definitely changing, and I've seen that changing across different organizations. Right, so it's not always top down, right? So I've seen several organizations have skip level opportunities, and then there are 360 level feedback, and then there are different employee engagement surveys and things like that. There are different ways where it gives you a feel that it is always feedback is a two-way street, and that is more a culture that we have to create.
Right,
It's not
right,
about just
absolutely.
giving a path, but we should give that confidence, saying that your feedback is valued, and then give them that build that trust, saying that yep, you can give that feedback. So that's what will encourage more.
Also, the individual leaders should be more open enough to actually
Yep.
look at more constructive than taking it more of a criticism, or probably, that's also a mindset which shift which
Yep.
has to come through. Yeah, that's a very, very important point. I think very, very well said, Gopal. I think I want to get your, this is on the feedback, right? So feedback um, is an important aspect of leadership. That again, both, as you said, reverse mentoring and also mentoring and providing the constant coaching. But feedback is different from the coaching and mentoring part of it. So how, so as a some of the feedback habits you have adopted over the years that helped grow you as a leader as well as the team. So maybe if you can share the tips and tricks you have adopted.
Yeah. So as I said, right, so feedback is always a two-way street, right? And then so what I've learned is feedback is not about just about saying that, oh yeah, I'll wait for end of a quarter or 6 months, a year, and then give feedback. Should be very specific. It has to be timely, and then it has to be actionable, right? So that has really helped me both in the terms of receiving as well as giving. And then important stuff is even these skip levels that I spoke about, right? So we always I've been a big fan of skip levels to have it's not just one or two levels. You should be open enough to even have open office hours in our calendar to say that people can reach out, right? It should be, you should be first vulnerable and approachable for people to come in, and then you have to
Right,
make that
right.
much more transparent, right? And as part of that, it is not just going and using those meetings to ask for status. We should definitely not do that. Rather, what we do is ask about, hey, what should we continue to do, right? Is there anything that we should stop doing, right? Is there anything that I'm not doing right now that you are expecting me to do, and should I start doing, right? Give them that opportunity to express their thoughts and take that feedback. And this will also be that it's not just you're just listening and hearing that, but you should be actioning on this feedback, even if it is very small, right? That will give a lot of credibility. The credibility will be built over a period of time. So one other thing is, people who ask for certain things and then give this feedback are all always not going to expect for perfection. It's about progress over perfection, right? But whatever that you do that genuinely, and show that care that you have, and then act on it. So that's what has been my core principle, and that has really helped me and our teams.
Yeah, I think absolutely. As you said, it's not a one-on-one or something which you do to actually get status, or you talk about the same work, what it's happening. That's
Yep.
going to probably derail the whole conversation around the feedback, because it's maybe, as you said, it's not just yet has to wait for the appraisal or probably the end of the quarter or the half-yearly or yearly. It has to be spontaneous and timely and consistent and probably actionable. As you say, I mean, it need not be about the status, but you can also look at how are they doing, like in a personal life, how more on showing that empathy and trying to understand how things are going in life, and then, as you say, what we stop doing and what we can do differently. It's I think very, very practical approach, and very well said, Gopal. But I'm not sure many are really actively doing that, right? Because mostly the one-on-ones would become more of a status reporting and trying to understand what you did and what you have not done. That not really going in deeper level, unless not the leader is so matured and he is able to do that.
I've been fortunate to have a lot of my teams who are leaders have been doing
Yeah,
that, and then a lot of my peers and my leaders have also done that. So I've
right.
been fortunate enough to work with a lot
Yeah.
of mindset with people
I've
with.
had, yes, I've had some amazing mentors and supervisors too, who has helped. I mean, throughout, like, including you. Yes.
This is just a glimpse of one of the many conversations we've had in this channel. If you found this thought provoking, please don't forget to subscribe and explore more insights from unfiltered voices and the real world experts. And please don't forget to like and share this video to as many people as possible. It keeps us going. See you in the next one.